That is the system of the chakras. If you're stuck in survival, you will never be able to touch and access the higher levels of consciousness. And where I went wrong after having my spiritual awakening was I thought I could push spirituality onto everybody, but most people are too worried about their survival process. They're too worried about their sexuality, getting in a relationship, feeling pleasure, the lower levels of experience. They're too worried about their achievements, their goals, they're goal driven. They want to achieve this and that. They want to look better in the eyes of other people. They want to survive better than their neighbor. But when you start to get into the higher chakras, this is when your life is transformed completely. Completely. Much peace and love. I hope you are doing great today. This video is a continuation of the last video. If you haven't watched the last video, I'll put a link up here somewhere. Click on it, go watch the last video. I talk about life beyond the survival process and how most people are stuck in the survival process. And in this video, we're going to expound upon that. And I'm going to talk about two things and how they sort of correspond. In the future, I'm going to make more detailed videos about it. But right now, I'm just going to go from what spirits guided me to share today. So when it comes to the chakras, many of you have heard of the chakra system. You have the root chakra, and then the crown chakra. In between, you have the other 5 chakras. This relates to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which starts from the lower basic human needs to the higher spiritual needs of a human being. It's the same. When I started studying this, I was kind of surprised, kind of blown away. I kind of already knew this about the human system, but there was still a part of me that needed to understand it on a deeper level. So now looking at it, I'm like, wow, this makes so much sense. So I'm going to explain that in this video. We're going to start with the chakras. So you have the root chakra, which deals with safety and security in your body, in your living space. You must feel safe and secure. This is the basic human need. If you don't feel safe and secure, if your survival is not taken care of, then this is like the roots of a tree. If the roots are not firmly rooted in the ground, then when the storm comes, the tree will blow over. It's not strong, it's weak. This is like a human being that deals with fear, anxiety, worry, excessive levels of stress and uncertainty about themselves, and all these things. This is the root chakra. This is the lowest level of the human needs. And unfortunately, a lot of humans are stuck in the root chakra. This is the lowest chakra. They don't have a strong foundation. That's okay though. You can work on the root chakra. This is what I help people with in my programs and such. But you can watch videos and do meditations all on YouTube to work on your root chakra and strengthen it. This is the energetic aspect of a human being. This isn't, yes, there are physical aspects to it, but the energetic aspect is usually what results in the way that your life is right now. If you fix the energetic aspect, everything else will fall into place. But we're never taught how to do that in modern education systems, so you have to figure it out yourself. That's probably why you're watching this video, to learn more about yourself. So then you go up to the sacral chakra, which deals with your sexuality and your creativity. A lot of people are also stuck in this chakra. The highest level of experience in life that they know is sex. And actually, quite a few people are stuck in the sacral chakra. I should say a large percentage, actually. Because quite a few people, that's pretty broad. That can mean anything. But a large percentage of people are stuck in the sacral chakra. Then you have the solar plexus chakra, which is your sense of identity, your sense of self, who you are, why you're here, your sense of meaning. This chakra is also called navel. And if this chakra is underactive, then you will not feel a sense of confidence. You will feel perhaps unworthy. You don't have a strong sense of identity. You don't really know who you are. You kind of float around, and perhaps you're a people pleaser. Perhaps you just have no path in life, no goals, no true feeling of meaning or purpose. If it's underactive. Now, if it's active, then opposite of all that. You feel like you have a meaning, you have a purpose, and you have a strong identity. You know who you are. Now, Those three chakras are physical for the most part, physical and intellectual. When you get to the solar plexus, it's more intellectual. And then you have the heart chakra. This deals with love, compassion for others. This is when you start to enter into the non-physical dimensions of life, the heart chakra. Then you have the throat chakra, which deals with your ability to speak confidently and with conviction and truth, and in a way that also doesn't necessarily offend people. You have a discernment between what to say and what not to say. And your voice is powerful. People resonate with your voice. People understand you. You feel understood as well. If it's underactive, maybe you are unable to speak your truth. You feel like nobody listens to you. You talk quietly. You don't speak with conviction. You're not able to voice your opinions. You're not able to voice truth. And very, very, very few people have an active throat chakra. Very few people have an active throat chakra. I've been working on my throat chakra for a long time. Anybody can work on their throat chakra though. Anybody can work on any of these chakras, but it's very important that you start at the lowest level and you work your way up. So the throat chakra. And then you have the third eye. Now, even if people's lower chakras are inactive, their third eye might be active. They may have an overactive imagination. They may be able to see life on a deeper level. Like I'm just looking out here on the lake right now. It's just beautiful, incredible, amazing. And if some people, they'll just look at the lake and say, yeah, it's just water. They have a very cynical, pessimistic look on life. And another person will look at it with awe and amazement, as I do. And this corresponds to your third eye chakra. You can see on a deeper level that this is phenomenal. This is beyond anything that we could ever create as human beings. This is something way beyond. Words can't even describe it. So that's your third eye chakra. Your also your intuitive ability to perhaps feel energies or almost even know what other people are thinking and how they're feeling. And then you have the crown chakra, which is your sense of oneness and connection to the entire universe and everything, and knowing that you are not separate from the universe. This is the ultimate level of transcendence. And you can't really dwell in the crown chakra very long, but when you're sitting in, let's say, meditation, you're able to tap into this oneness of who you truly are, your true nature. And I was sitting down here on the rocks the other day. If you watched the other video, the one that I posted previously, I talked about how I was sitting down on the rocks the other day and I just had tears come and I was sitting in my meditation. This is because I touched the Sahasrara, or crown chakra. That's what it's called in Sanskrit, Sahasrara. So you can touch this dimension of life and transcend the physical, transcend all of the lower level needs of the human. None of this stuff is bothering you. See, if somebody is stuck in the lower chakras, they're going to seek survival first. First, they're going to seek survival. That's the only thing that they think life is about, survival. Once they get survival needs taken care of and they're comfortable in their own body, then they're going to seek sexuality and creativity. And if that's the highest level of experience they know, then they're going to stay in that chakra. The only thing they're going to know is sexuality. This is most men nowadays. They just want to have sex with the next woman because they're stuck in the second chakra. The third chakra, this is your sense of identity. You're most likely goal driven. You want to get to the money. You want to achieve a lot in the world. Most people are stuck in, or I say most people, but let's just say some people, a certain segment of people are stuck in that chakra. This is also like MMA, fighting and stuff. This is your power, your sense of identity. Then the heart chakra, your sense of love, your sense of peace, your sense of just being compassionate to other people. Not many people have touched the heart chakra, but some have. And it's not necessarily sequential either. Some people might have a very unbalanced root chakra, but they have this sense of love for others. They're very kind people. Their heart chakra is probably open, but maybe their other chakras aren't. See, it's not sequential. It can vary. So then you have the throat chakra, as we already talked about. Not many people's throat chakra is active. But whenever you are in the throat chakra, for example, some people may be in the throat chakra where they just want to be the one that's heard in the crowd. They want everybody to hear what they have to say. Their throat chakra may be overactive. They need to tone it down a bit. Third eye chakra, you may be stuck in your imagination. You could either have, if it's underactive, you could have a very cynical look on life. If it's overactive, you could just be a very imaginative, psychic, intuitive person. If it's balanced, then you'll notice. People who have a very balanced third eye chakra, they can function in the world. They can function in the world how it's needed, how it's necessary, but they're able to see life on a higher level. It's like they're one level up and they're looking down upon life. They know how to function properly and they don't get too entangled in the world, the ways of the world, but they are above and they are seeing life how it is. And they see this is all, a system that's set up in this way. And they can see that, they know it's a system, they know it's all basically fake and superficial, but they're able to see that because their third eye's open and they play the game. They play the game without getting entangled in it. And then the crown chakra, you touch this very rarely. But once you touch the crown chakra, your life is changed forever because you know now that there's something beyond the physical. It's not a belief system anymore. Most people in church who talk about God and talk about faith and talk about all these things, their crown chakra, they've never touched it. Maybe they've actually, I take that back. Maybe they have touched it. Maybe, I've probably touched it when I was younger, when I was in church, when I had spiritual experiences, when I didn't know what was happening to me. I had spiritual experiences when I was younger. When I was baptized and listening to the music, they were playing the music, praising God. I would have tears, I would feel my whole body would be vibrating. I didn't know what was happening. That could have been the crown chakra, but I didn't know what it was. And you can lose that, right? You can feel it here, you can feel it a little bit, but then you can lose that. But once you've touched it, you know there's something more. You know there's something more. That's just all there is to it. So that is the system of the chakras. If you're stuck in survival, you will never be able to touch and access the higher levels of consciousness. And where I went wrong after having my spiritual awakening was I thought I could push spirituality onto everybody, but most people are too worried about their survival process. They're too worried about their sexuality, getting in a relationship, feeling pleasure, the lower levels of experience. They're too worried about their achievements, their goals, they're goal driven. They want to achieve this and that. They want to look better in the eyes of other people. They want to survive better than their neighbor. But when you start to get into the higher chakras, this is when your life is transformed completely. And this is actually what I help people with. I bring people through a whole experience to work on their chakras and not just know about them intellectually. Like I just taught you about chakras on an intellectual level, so you have an idea of what it's all about. But I work with people on a deeper level so that the chakras actually become a part of their experience. We really figure out what chakras you're lacking in, how to work on them, how to raise your energy and touch the crown and keep your heart chakra open and experience a much more profound, beautiful experience of life. So I know I haven't touched on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it's very similar to the chakra system known by our ancient ancestors in the East. Maybe not our ancestors, but the Eastern cultures in India and Buddhism and such. But I will save that for another video. I want to actually give you a very detailed explanation of it. And right now, I am more in tune with the Eastern ways of life, the chakras. I'm able to teach that because I know that. That's what I do. That's what I teach. That's what I help people with. I'm not like super educated on the psychological aspect of it and psychology, right? The education system. But I love the Eastern cultures because it's more about the experience than it is about intellectually knowing it. So that's going to be all for this video. If you're interested in perhaps working together, raising your energies and touching the higher chakras, because a lot of people have blockages, they don't know how to deal with the blockages. I can help you overcome these blockages, give you practices and processes to do so. If you want to talk about that on a deeper level, you can book a strategy call below in the description. Anyways, I hope you gained value from this video, and there's much more to come. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, share it with a friend if you gain value, and if you think your friend or family member will gain value, hit the like button, leave a comment, and that's all for this one. Much peace and love. I'll see you in the next one.